Hey guys, welcome back to another plan with me. This week I'm planning from Monday, April 7th to Sunday the 13th, and I'm using this Pink Diamond Planner Co-Kit. I don't believe you can get this kit anymore because I believe the shop closed. This was the last thing I ordered, and I'm glad I was able to get it because I think this was custom art, and I don't believe any other shops had this, and I really had no reason to use it this week other than purple makes me think of April. And correct me if I'm wrong, but did Erin Condren, and I have no idea what they do now because I don't use Erin Condren anymore, haven't for years, but wasn't April purple back in the day? Because maybe that's why purple makes me think of April. But anyway, yeah, this is just an anytime kit. I needed a kit, so here we are. I'm pretty happy with how the base turned out and the spread overall. The only thing I will say is I don't love how big these date dots are. And the reason I used them is, if you can tell, these are really old SPC date dots. I've had them forever, and I just never had a week where I could use them because the dates didn't line up, and they did this week. So I just, I don't want to waste stuff that I can use. So I used them. Are they a little big? Yes. Do they look a little silly? Yeah, it's fine. I'm happy overall. And I feel like adding the deco up top kind of helped take attention away from them. I don't know. I think you know what I mean. And actually, I didn't even realize that this kit came with deco until the very end, and I was like, oh, good. I did move everything up, which is why I used the date covers. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used them to begin with, but I wanted to give myself just a little bit of space so that I could keep a full box on every single day. Now, as far as my plans for the week, I started this voiceover and was thinking I did nothing this week, but that's a lie. So there were a couple things that happened. I think I just got used to like all of my weeks being really boring. But some things did happen. Number one, my boss came back. I've mentioned this a million times, but she is away at her second home during winter and summer, and she works fully remote during those seasons, and then she's back for spring and fall. So she came back for spring, and it's just always an adjustment for me because I'm so used to just going into the office and not having to speak to a single living soul other than like on the phone, but like not in person. I don't have to smile at anybody, and it's easy. My boss is really nice, but I'm just so tired every day, and I have clinical depression. It just is what it is. It takes a lot of energy for me to like smile and care about how your day is going. That's a lot. I mean, I do care how people's days are going. It's just hard for me. Like, I'm not good at small talk. I'm not good at smiling. I don't know. So yeah, but it was kind of nice because she was only back on Tuesday, and then she had to go to a conference for the rest of the week. So I kind of got eased back into talking to a living human at work. So it was fine. Another big thing that happened this week is I have been thinking about buying a Switch for months and months, like since last year. But because the Switch 2 was coming out, I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when I found out how much the Switch 2 was going to be and how much the games were going to be and this, that, the other, I just didn't feel the need to get the newest one. So I ended up just getting the Switch, the OLED model or whatever. And I, what do you call it? I was able to get it at Target, got my 5% off, got some, got like a coupon. Anyway, so was it the best deal? No, but I really wanted one. I'm really excited I have one. Do I have a ton of time to play it? No, but here's the thing. The times when I wish I was home to play video games are usually when I'm stuck elsewhere, and so I'm just so excited to have something portable that I can bring with me. Like if I need to go to West Virginia with my significant other, there's not much to do at his parents' house. I can bring my Switch, or on a plane, I can bring my Switch, or wherever. And I tend to use my PTO to like go on trips. I would like to be able to take my Switch and actually play some video games on my downtime. So I'm very excited. So I got that this week. Other than that, so the book I read this week was I Started Losing Hope. And I forgot I even read this book. I've already erased it from my memory because on Wednesday I have listed here, what the fuck, Trump? And then immediately under that, it says, start losing hope. And so I thought he did something absolutely so ridiculous that this day I started getting so depressed that I was losing hope, you know? But no, I started the book by Colleen Hoover, Losing Hope. And if you're wondering why I read this, I used to read Colleen Hoover books because romances are my guilty pleasure. I really do enjoy them, not as much as I used to. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older and my tastes are changing. I don't know what, but I've always thought her books are really bad. I liked Verity minus the ending, but besides that, her books are pretty bad, but I've read a bunch because they're so easy to read and you just get sucked in. But I had already read the book Hopeless and had eye-rolled my way through the whole fucking thing. And if you're wondering why I decided to read Losing Hope, it's because a friend gave it to me. And because I've been decluttering my apartment and all that, and I've pretty much finished, but I do want to do like a second sweep, you know? Anyway, I wanted to get rid of that book because I am getting new books. I've been reading more and it's just taking up space in my limited bookshelf space. So I could have just donated it. Yeah, I didn't have to read it, but I think some of you will understand. It's like I couldn't not read this book. Like I had to read it before I got rid of it. And I knew it would be quick. So I just powered through it. Ooh, I just hit my phone. I just powered through it. And I think, I don't remember how bad the other books were, but I think this might have been the worst Colleen Hoover book I've ever read. The writing was so bad. This woman needs a thesaurus and she needs to study teenage boys, maybe not in person because that's creepy, but like maybe in some movies or something. I don't know because they don't speak like this. They don't act like this. Spoiler alert, at some point, this boy makes spaghetti and sauce from scratch. Like he doesn't make the noodles, but he makes the sauce from scratch. There is no backstory about him being into the culinary arts whatsoever. And I am sorry, but adult men don't even come over and make you spaghetti sauce from scratch very often. Teenage boys certainly don't, especially the kind that get in a bunch of fights and stuff. No, it's just no. It was no. And every single thing this character said is the cringiest thing you have ever read in your life. And he uses the most obnoxious adjectives over and over again. Like, you've literally crushed me. She's seriously crushed me. She blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't even explain it. I almost want to go get the book because it's sitting by the front door, ready to be donated or given away on Facebook. She just keeps using the same adjectives and they're so over the top. It's very Romeo and Juliet, but like bad. You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry, I'm going on long enough about this stupid book. 2 out of 5. I gave it 2 out of 5, and I think I only gave it 2 because you do want to like keep reading, kind of. But yeah, I don't recommend. I very much do not recommend. Anyway, then another thing that happened this week was I went out on Friday, and I feel like I haven't I went to see Silverstein on a Friday, but that didn't really count because I didn't like feel very cute, and I didn't have any drinks, and I don't know. For whatever reason, it didn't count to me, even though it very much was going out. But I went out on Friday, and we went to see a Warped Tour cover band, and my roommate came with me. So I was so happy that she came. And I'm not going to lie, I did not want to go. I was tired. I am old, and it was pouring rain outside, and I hate going out in the rain. So yeah, I just really didn't want to go, but we already bought the tickets. I already told my boyfriend that we would go. So we went, and I ended up having a really good time, My roommate and I just got like a tiny bit buzzed, like just the right amount to, help with the social anxiety. And was the band amazing? No. Did they have the best set list? No. But it was a Warped Tour cover band, so they did play a lot of songs that I do like, and because I was a little tipsy, I had a blast singing along, and it was wonderful. I loved it, and it gave me so much energy. The only bummer is, after the concert was over, my roommate and I, we were both just like having such a good time. We had a lot of energy, like I said, and we were like just ready to go. like we had a good time, we were ready to leave. And as we were walking towards the front door, some of the people we were with, I guess, wanted to like hang out for a little bit. And I didn't want to tell Joe that I wanted to leave. And like, just have fun with like my roommate and him. So I sucked it up and we hung out, and it was fine. I like these people. But it was very sobering. Like the second I had to start making small talk, I quickly sobered up and I was just hit with exhaustion. And it was a literal buzzkill. Like it was a bummer. I was in a really good mood. I, for once, had energy without a stomach ache. And yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a bummer, but it's fine. And what else? I feel like nothing else really happened. I had a puzzle day on Saturday. I basically just did a puzzle and listened to an audiobook, and it was amazing. And yeah, I feel like that's it. So let's just get into the day by day, starting with Monday. The first thing I marked with an umbrella from Stella Bow Sticker Co. was that it rained. Then with this zombie emoji, I marked that I worked remote. Oh, sorry, I need to catch my breath. With this cleaning emoji, I marked that I vacuumed and did the dishes. Then with this squish from Fox and Cactus, I marked walking 10,000 steps on the walking pad. With this squidge blow drying its hair, I marked that I blow dried my hair, which is markable because I never do it, and I can't remember why I did it this night. I think I heard that it's better for your hair to dry it on a low setting than to keep it wet, like it's less breakable, but I don't know. I only did it once in like all month, so I don't think that's going to help. Then with this Fox and Cactus girl, I marked that I watched YouTube and had my tea. And then the final thing on Monday with another Coffee Monsters Co. sticker was that I read. Moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I marked was that my boss was back this day, and I used this nervous emoji for that. Then with another emoji, I marked just doing a ton of research because I wanted to make sure that I got the Switch from like the best place. And to be completely honest, I mean, it has a 1-year warranty from Nintendo, so like it is what it is, but I just kept getting mixed messages on where to buy it. And originally I was thinking of buying it on Amazon because that was technically the lowest price. But then I saw that like, I don't know, I was looking on Reddit, take this for whatever, like do whatever you want. But from what I was reading, people said that even if you buy a Switch from a reputable seller who has really good Amazon reviews, because Amazon no longer sells the old Switches themselves, it's just like, individual sellers who sell on Amazon. What happens is all of the Switches that are fulfilled by Amazon get sent to their warehouses, and then it's basically just a pool, of everybody's Switches that they're selling. So you might end up getting a Switch from a less reputable seller, and I just didn't want to deal with all that, so I just got it at Target. I just got it in the store, not online, and it was fine because with the 5% off, it was the same price as Amazon was selling with no deal, so it's fine. And I know, don't support big business, but I wanted a Switch. Leave me alone. Then with this Munchkin from Once More With Love, I marked that I finished reading The Hunting Party, and I did really like that. It's kind of predictable, but fun. It was fun. I do recommend that book if you haven't read it yet, but it's been out for a while, so I'm sure everybody's read it but me. Then with this another squish on the treadmill, I marked that I went on the treadmill. Have no idea how many steps I did. And then with this flat lay from the Prairie Planner, I marked that I filmed a plan with me. Moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I marked was that I was still up in weight and I wasn't thrilled about it. And this is a Pumpkin Paper Coterra, RIP Pumpkin Paper Co. With this squidge on the computer, I marked that my boss was out again. With this Fox and Cactus detective sticker, I just marked a WTF Trump, and this is in regards to like the whole stock market thing with what he was doing. Very intriguing. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but seems a little illegal to me. Anyway, Then with this book deco, I marked that I started losing hope. With this Once More with Love sticker, I marked that Joe and I watched The Traitors. He came over and we watched it because we are obsessed with that show. And then the final thing on Wednesday was that I walked 13,000 steps this day. I was doing really well with my steps this week, and I used another squish for that. Moving on to Thursday, the first thing I marked was yet again, I just wasn't happy with my weight. I apologize if that's annoying to hear. I'm still going to mention it though, so sorry. Then with, and this is a Coffee Monsters Co. sticker, I believe. Then with a Lottie from Stick with a Plan Co. And just by the way, I saw recently that she is going to only be selling Lotties like a few times a year, which is kind of a bummer, but I am glad that she's not completely getting rid of Lotties, because I'm not in the market for any right now, and she's having a sale right now. I don't want to just buy because she's not going to be selling them, because she did mention that around July she will be posting them again. Just FYI if you're interested. Then with this sticker I can never remember the name of, I marked that even though I woke up really late. Oh, sorry, I didn't even tell you. So I just went on a whole thing. Okay, so with this Lottie, I marked that I woke up really late, and then on top of that, there was a fucking cockroach. A cockroach just moseying by my front door. So I killed it, but because I am who I am as a person, I was running late. I didn't have the time to muster up the courage to throw it away. So I put what was it? I don't remember. It was I put a paper plate over it. I wanted it to be something disposable that we wouldn't ever use again, because even if it was like washed, I think I would just throw away whatever I covered this roach with. So I used a paper plate, but then I didn't want the cats to move it, so I put something weighted on top of the paper plate, and then I just texted my roommate like, hey, there's a dead roach under a plate when you get home, and she took care of it. That's, she's a peach. She takes care of the bugs, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, with all that, I still managed to get to the office at 8:12. And that is what I used this rushing sticker for. Then with these glasses from Piper Paper Company, I marked that I wore glasses this day. That's how late I was running. I didn't even want to waste time on contacts. With this Coffee Monsters Co. meeting sticker, I marked that I had to attend the meeting this day, and it was grueling, and I looked like shit, so that was extra nice. Loved being on camera. Then with this Once More with Love step sticker, I marked that I walked 10,000 steps. With a that's a Coffee Monsters Co. sticker. With a Once More with Love sticker, I marked that I read. Then with this Rabbit Hole Handcraft sticker, I marked that I watched YouTube, drank my tea, and pulled stickers. And then the final thing on Thursday with this face mask munchkin was that I did a face mask. Then moving on to Friday, the first thing I marked with a Caress Press scale was that I was down a tiny bit. Then with this Papershire cat, I marked that Janet and I cuddled for a little bit. With this squidge on a laptop, I marked, oh my God, I forgot about this. I'll try to keep it brief. Long story short, I woke up to a Teams message from my boss that she had left me at 11:30 at night, freaking out because she's at the conference and there are no return labels in the case that I had shipped to her with all of the conference stuff. And I felt sick. I could have thrown up. She was like, the first thing in the morning, can you please make the labels and send them to me? And I'm going to have to figure out somewhere to print them. And I'm like, I'm sick because I hate messing up. Well, I go to FedEx.com and I was like, I wouldn't have done this. Like, if I must have made the return labels. There's no way I didn't. So I look at our account and I did make the return labels and they're marked as printed. And if I printed them, I 100% put them in the case because they were nowhere in her office. She would have seen them on Tuesday because I shipped the case the previous week so it would get to the conference in time because it takes like a week UPS ground to get there. Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, I knew that the labels weren't in her office and I knew I printed them. So I messaged her and I was like, I have no idea. They must have fallen out of the case. I definitely printed them. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I put them in the case. I don't know how this could have happened, but I will make some new ones right now and email them to you. She messages me 10 minutes later. She found them. They were in the case. They had just fallen to the bottom of the case because it's a big case. So she had panicked and messaged me in the middle of the night, and there was no issue. So it's fine. Everything was good. It wasn't a big deal, but everything's a big deal to me because I am a very anxious person. So I think it took years off my life for no reason. Then with another pumpkin paper Kotera, I marked that I cleaned the entire apartment with this laundry sticker from Planting Roses. And I'm not sure, did Planting Roses totally close? I'm not 100% sure, but this is a very old sticker. I marked that I did my laundry. Then with this Once More with Love munchkin, I marked that it rained so much this day. With this shopping munchkin, which I believe was like a Once More with Love SPC collab, I marked that I picked up my Switch. Then with a squidge on stage, I marked that we went to see the Warped Tour band perform. And then the final thing on Friday, I marked with this sleeping emoji head was that it was a buzzkill. Then moving on to Saturday, the first thing I marked with this Carly Plant sticker was that Joe and I watched the challenge before he had to leave for, where did he go? Oh, he went to DC this weekend. I was wondering why it was such a short trip. Yeah, I thought he was working, but no, he went to Washington, DC to see his two best friends. So that's where he was going. So he wasn't like in a rush because he just needed to drive there. So we watched the challenge before he left. Then after that, I came home and did my puzzle day. Very exciting, thrilling, riveting. I loved it. And I used a squidge for that. Then with this Piper Paper Company ice cream sticker, I marked that my roommate and I walked to Giant because it was the weekend and I really wanted a fun treat. So I wanted to get some ice cream. I ended up getting Snickers ice cream bars, which are hands down the best novelty ice cream on the entire planet. I don't care what you say. And then I also got a big tub of mint chocolate chip because I love mint chocolate chip. Wawa. I haven't gotten it in years, but they used to have the best chocolate chip ice cream on earth. I could eat the entire pint and make myself sick. It was so good. And I don't like when the chocolate is shaved. I like crunching stuff, so I like it when there's like big chunks like chocolate chips. Anyway, sorry, I digress. We went to Giant and we got ice cream. Then with another pumpkin paper Kotera, I marked that I tried a new flatbread to me from Trader Joe's. I always get the truffle something flatbread. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. But this time I also got the prosciutto arugula or something flatbread. It was actually delicious. I will definitely be getting it. It was so good. Then with another squish walking on a walking pad, I marked that I walked 13,000 steps this day. And while I finished my steps, I did call my grandma and we talked for quite a bit, which was really nice. She was in a good mood, which if you guys have seen my plan with me, as you know, is rare. So I was happy to talk to her and like she actually seemed just like alive and not miserable. So we talked for quite a while and I used another Lottie to mark that. Then with this audiobook sticker from Sticky Perks and this puzzle piece from Prairie Planner, I marked that I listened to my audiobook and I think I finished the puzzle this day. Yeah, I finished my puzzle, I believe. Then with this Rabbit Hole handcrafted book, I marked that I read, and that was it for Saturday. Moving on to Sunday, the first thing I marked was that I had a serious case of the Sunday scaries. I woke up in such a foul mood. I was so down. And so I decided to run the very few errands that I had immediately so that I could get it out of the way and it would hopefully lighten up my mood. So I walked to Amazon to get a package because I ordered a case and screen protectors for the Switch because I read online that the screen scratches like nobody's business. So I didn't even want to touch it until I got these things. So I picked that up and then I walked to Aldi and got my groceries for the week and used a Lottie for that. Then with this Red Bull sticker from Designsky Sticker Co. and this SPC monitor TV, I'm not sure, I marked that I drank my Red Bull and watched YouTube. I waited to drink my Red Bull until after my errands because it was my reward. Then with this book from the Prairie Planner, I marked that I read. With another Prairie Planner sticker, I marked that I did a voiceover. Then with a Fox and Cactus workout sticker, I marked that I did my Slim and Six workout. with a TV from the Prairie Planner. I marked that I watched Twin Peaks. And then Joe was back from his trip, so I went to his place and I used an emoji to mark that. And then the final thing on Sunday was that we watched the White Lotus finale and we watched Traitors, and I used this Coffee Monsters Co sticker for that. So that was everything this week. Yeah, a little more eventful than things have been, I think. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.